problem. Going for that battle hunger early means that his laning phase, the start of it, has been really hemmed in. And now that he does finally have the second level, he can maybe farm a little bit more effectively. But compare that to what the Underlord's been able to do. Feeling a lot more like the R has been active down here bottom.
And even Slaughter's going to be able to stock up on the Migrant here, cutting Hannah off from his shrine. There's no way he could actually get to this shrine without getting killed off. So he's just going to have to run. No, he goes in for the rotation. Might be able to get it just a little bit more time is needed. And yes, he will be able to. He doesn't even use it. He's playing games right now. He's got a lot of natural HP regen, combining that with the Django. And I forgot that he had a fairy sword. So he actually, there is no kill potential here against the Axe. He will always be able to heal himself back up and on the shrine. So that's the new game plan for Jules, is just get him to waste the shrine, and he'll do it eventually. He just wants to get some more efficiency out of it.
Yeah. It's definitely been frustrating laning stage, I'm sure, though, for the Axe. But likewise, Ember Spirit having a hell of a hard time. 14-3 versus the 24-7 of Armel. He has been really all over it. But it does still feel like it's a hero in the Ember Spirit who can get more done once you get those first couple of levels. And he's still been getting a lot of those levels. As Medusa, you need to be worried about your lack of contribution in team fights early.
I mean, only if the team fights go to you, right? Like, if your teammates are getting ganked and you're still farming happily, I don't think you're too worried as Medusa, because you don't have to, like, take the map within. So you can play this very, because there is no hard carry on the side of Mineski. You have all the time in the world. If you lose a fight, you'll come back from it. Maybe you don't latch farm as quickly, but right now he's getting the lane. And that's the important thing, is he's just getting this base starting point where he does an okay amount of right-click damage, and every time that he shoots out this Mystic Snake, Jay has to flame guard for 100 mana, and then he loses mana from the mana drain aspect. So in general, it's pretty difficult to be an Ember Spirit in this position, and you even see Jay dipping into the Iron Talon and really just focusing on the stacks that he builds.
Make sure that those get finished off. Lardar going to check on the Axe, but he is off in the other jungle right now.
Wow, they with a lot of wards here.
Yeah.
That could be actually a huge waste if they don't pick up the Axe anytime.
And it's also to the tune of
Dire's middle
Titan
tower
being
is
able
under
to soak up some
attack.
experience here. He's level 3. It's not exactly like they've been able to shut him down that heavily. It was looking bad for a while with the battle hunger skills first for Axe and everything. But now they're catching back up. Also CM that's getting some fun. So all in all, a great start for Clutch Gamers. And it does feel like Mineski are getting into it.
Yeah, most definitely Chambers have the upper hand. I mean, you look at Jay and first spot, he couldn't even finish off the stack that he was working on.
Dire's
he had to
middle
go
tower
back
isn't
and heal,
going to
get the
last
full
long.
bottle respawn. He'll flame guard it and Remnant right back out to finish off. But in the meantime, like, Jules is now having to become. And this Medusa pick, like, has been under no pressure at all, has been able to actually just straight up win out the lane. And while he is dwarfed in CS by the Mirana, the farm doesn't mean nearly as much on that hero.
And it's not as if the safe lane for the side of Clutch Gamers is going completely terribly either. I mean,
should be a kill here up on the top lane. The Elder Titan, he glimpse back, and the arrow and the kinetic can lock him in for a lot of damage. There's still some possibility that he can get out if they drop their glimpse and their arrow too early. He can TP for the echo, but right now it looks like he's
battle resumes.
Back in, arrow connect, nicely done. Fly solo in trouble, and that is going to be first blood.
First blood.
So Rana picks that one up. If there's a guy that's going to be able to pull them back into this game, it's going to be Miracle. In your eyes, how does he accomplish that? What is he going to need to do with this game?
I mean, he's going to have to farm his Aghanims extremely, and he's going to have to hit a lot of arrows. Bottom line, there's a lot of setup. Searing Chains, Kinetic, away. Some of the clips right there. They get set up for an arrow, which I guess we should mention pretty sick. And then on top of that, yeah, you get your Crush, your Pit of Malice. These kinds of abilities all will enable big arrows, but you've got to follow through, or really, you're just going to be treading water for a large part of the
5 CS for him. Medusa is also now going into the jungle from time to time to pick up a couple of CS after spamming out the wave. So, actually from bad to worse here. And in your eyes, with this Manta style queued up, at least for the moment, rather the Yasha, do you think that, what do you feel like it needs to be the build
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Moving around, or?
Well, my personal favorite is going to be obviously the Aquila here, then Phase, Yasha, Scotty.
Radiant's top tower
Asia
deserves
regions
just
tend to
as
go
much help
into
as
full
bottom.
hit style first, and then kind of decide what to do from there. Even like BKB is what I've seen. They've had the BKB link
Dire's middle tower
a
isn't
little
going
bit,
to
but
last long.
for the most part, it should just be a pretty standard progression against them. At Adi had a pretty good time, like 25-minute mark.
Dire's middle tower is under
Remember
attack.
a certain cast for the Shanghai Major qualifiers.
Radiant's
So bad.
top
You know,
tower.
I know them.
Too.
We both. The thing that's the reason is we both know the exact match you're talking about. It goes
Dire's middle
CDEC
tower.
Youth versus Newbie Young.
Dire's
He
snow
did it like 3
fortified
times
those
in the same
structures.
tournament, and it never worked. And I'm just like,
Radiant's top
okay,
tower
well,
deserves just
you
as
do you,
much
man.
help as
You're the
bottom.
professional, but it clearly was not the optimal route when we juxtapose it to all the other Medusa performances at that point in time. But this is a
Dire's
new
bottom
light. We
tower
haven't
is
seen
under
it that
attack.
much in this patch at all.
Yeah.
So I guess we can like look at the talents a little bit here and just talk like, okay, she gets a little bit more intelligence. Some natural evasion is actually pretty sick.
Yeah.
And then the biggest one in my mind is at level 20, you get 600 mana. You suddenly become a massive spawn. Yeah, you can get a 6 target at a split shot, but that's pretty
Not
just in my
great.
mind compared to just being able to get that raw effective HP.
Radiant's top tower
Yeah,
has
great
looked better.
ability to pick up for her. There's a hell of a lot of them that are just sort of like, not necessarily the greatest in the world, but you've got options depending upon how the game is going, what you want to move for. But yeah, we're about 9 minutes into this one. Medusa left completely alone, just ever so slightly behind the Mirana. A little bit of a misplay there as well.
Down bottom, they're going to be going in. They made the smoke rotation a long way, but they need a glimpse to really make it worthwhile. They will get the static storm kinetic, glimpse onto the Weaver, and take off the speed. The second kill of the game.
Oscar going to be able to find a third as well. But in trouble. They draw the stop. Not nearly going to be enough. But a double there. More miracle. That's the way to make it work. That's the start of it.
Definitely have to get C's involvement. Love seeing the rotation of the disruptor to the off lane at level 6. I think it's probably one of the most ways to find a kill. And yeah, here we see them just getting the most value out of the shrine and kind of start making some waves across the map. They do need to start also getting towers. It's not just going to be a game where you can be 20 kills up and be patting yourself on the back. This is a game where at the end of the day, you have to take every single building you can because Medusa's actually already weathered down to mid-tier 1. Like, she's going to be able to trade that anytime they commit fully bottom.
In the meantime, they're going to switch up the lane slightly as well. Still the Slardar who's sitting in the mid and careful because
Limps looks a lot back.
they
It just shows itself, unfortunately. Like, there's nothing really more to it. Should maybe the arrow gave him the vision for the Thunderstrike, but once
Not
he
much
was
good's happening to
visible,
Radiant's
there's
bottom
really not much
tower.
more you can do.
Radiant structures are fortified.
mid lane, you talk about everybody moving down to the bottom lane. They are going to try and go
Radiant's
down the
bottom
tier one
tower's
tower.
got
Not
problems.
quite brought down as of yet.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Top lane is where they're pressuring instead. So yeah, all these towers taking some shit. We still haven't seen the bottom
Are
tier 1
those
tower go down.
cracks in
Radiant.
Dire's top tower?
They do get the axe, and that will
Dire's
delay
top
his flank,
tower
but
has
already
fallen.
he's been farming pretty swell, and they're always going to get a trade in terms of these towers here. It's Weaver and
Dire just
Medusa have
denied
been
their
able to do
middle
more.
tower.
So it's a last hit for Clutch Gamers on the top tier 1, and it is a deny against them with the mid team.
So, considering that they've been able to take those couple down, they're opening up the map a little bit more. I'm sort of surprised that we're not seeing. I think that Mineski needs to start making some plays
Dire's
to Dark
middle
Rift
tower
where
is
they
under
all run
attack.
down a lane and then come back into defense with a Dark Rift play like that.
I think it'd be really sick to see some Dark Rift action combined with Moonlight Shadow, like just some
Right.
really hard rotations that can't really be seen, and then you suddenly just have 5 heroes coming out of Invis on top of somebody. I feel like a lot of good team play is going to be important. We do see the glimpse with the Dust of Appearance. He time lapsed early, but it's right into the same spot he was farming, and that's going to be bringing him down. It's kind of a panic button. I don't think that's a misplay. It's kind of a situation where I really hope 4 seconds ago I wasn't in the middle of this death circle.
Yeah, and well, again, Solo going to go for the TP. Triple Remnant forward. They find that kill as well. So in spite of the fact that you've got this Medusa that's farming like crazy, going down 0-6, maybe starting to feel a little bit tense.
Positive mental attitude, man. You gotta just forge ahead. You're just gonna be like, yeah, guys, it happens. Don't worry about it. I'm halfway to Lincoln's. We're good. Keep on doing your thing. I think it's actually good. The big thing here is I love this observer warp from Dire, but it's going to be able to press the observer a whole more actively. But they probably need to wait for their static storm and their jets until they.
Oh, and they're about to smoke underneath this wall, I think. They're all moving back. They're going to ping it out. Imagine this.
It wasn't seen necessarily, but obviously there were 2 or 3 heroes down here just a moment before.
Yeah,
And,
they scan it immediately.
there it is. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's just a good board placement by Mineski. They know where they need to go, and this has been pretty emblematic of their team play in general, is that they've been made better as a unit,
Radiant's
and
top
I think
tower
making
is
the
under
right decisions.
attack.
Definitely. A couple months ago.
At least they should be able to put some hits into the tier 1 off of it, but they're not going to fall for any fates, and in fact, they might just be able to firestorm the waves down. And
That is an Ags Mirana at 13 minutes.
well, it's one position. You got to remember that he is pretty
Yeah.
much just straight up farming in the safe. So I actually think that's not a standard timing necessarily, but a pretty solid one. And there is what you expect now. He's going to be able to farm out the jungle extremely quickly and build up towards the next thing. Hopefully will enable a little bit of push.
Well, scary stuff here, and it looks like Hana maybe going to get caught as well. They're running, they're moving, they're finding almost online, but it looks like Hana's going to barely get out of that one. Vision with the arrow, not quite on the mark.
Might be a Manta Diffusal game from Mirana. The Diffusal Mana Burn got buffed a while back, and it is actually even more effective. And I feel like without any form of Mana Burn, it's going to be pretty hopeless to focus down this Medusa. But up top, it's going to be a Blink Call, unveiling the Blink Dagger, getting a lot of good damage in, but is it going to be enough?
They got him for a second, trying to run it out. He only has that one, but they won't be able to find the kill. That Ember just constantly out of there.
All right, so Elder Titan to be controlling this bottom lane so that they can't continue to push and pressure. He's actually really good at wave clearing this situation. We're going to hear a Moonlight Shadow pop out, but he's going to enable anything. Just a static storm coming out on the Weaver here, and there should be a lot of damage. Double star storm, and they get a little bit more. Not in time! The time left brings it back to full HP.
And now Disruptor in trouble
down
as well.
to the sliver of health. I mean, that is infused raindrops. That is what I wanted when he made infused raindrops.
Exactly.
Like, that is exactly his vision. There's like a little dream sequence. There's a little thought bubble. Weaver time lapsing after having survived by 10 HP thanks to infused raindrops.
Well, maybe not going to be able to survive from this one. They end up popping the ulti, and now maybe in a little bit of trouble. Mirana trying to TP out, able to kill him in time. No, the hurl boulder. It was on cooldown still, so they can't run him down. And
Dire's middle
well,
tower isn't going to
maybe
last
the
long.
Ember Spirit is in trouble.
Yeah, he's not a remnant. He's actually in real deep.
Well, they use the chain. Chase him down. He rolls up with Disruptor in the area, but yeah, it's a kill. This is going to be the TM that picks it up. They're Dark Rifting into this.
And not much to bring to bear against them, though. The mechanism was kind of like the emergency call, and it just doesn't really matter. Now Axis gets to take the entire Dire jungle. He actually just, this isn't his farming zone. While there's this actually going on back and forth bottom, and Medusa, you've had your time. It's Axe time. And he just gets wave after wave. Jungle camp after jungle camp, and he's going to have a blade mail at a very fast pace.
It does look like they're going to be going for Lincoln Sphere now on the Medusa. Yasha into Lincoln's. No,
Yeah, it's fine. It's a good mix of like farming speed, offensive capability, and the defense you need against a spell like Glimpse.
Yeah, Glimpse to me has felt like definitely the be-all end-all as far as them being able to take team fights on their terms. That being Mineski. Shut that down, puts you in a better position. Still the axe, almost towards the blade mail, still about halfway there, probably. Could be another little power spike for them to get into position to take fights.
Hannah's doing really well for himself, except during the rocky start. I think that's just been him being very methodical about his movements and him making the right call to rotate to the jungle as soon as he could and give the landing really tight. That just puts them in a much better spot. And now they have, it looks like a quadruple stack Ancient available for them.
Might actually become hard to take. They got armor, they've got higher HP, they've got light regen. Take a little while for her to clear it all the way up.
Even that negative armor could be really annoying if the Howler Shaman is able to get through. And he's going to be able to clear it out just piece by piece. There's really no contest here. Mineski, they pop the shrine, they pop the smoke. They're going to try to make the play happen. They should be doing this every time they have both smoke and static storm available.
Is going to be coming in right as the Lincoln Sphere is there for the Medusa. It looks like their eyes are down bottom towards the Weaver and the
Radiant's
Crystal
top tower
Maiden.
deserves just as much help as bottom.
The Dire scan? Radiant don't realize what's happening. Jump forward, crush, it's there. Do they have the reveal? They're not quite going to be able to get it to glimpse back in, but are they going to be able to bring him down? He does have time lapse, backs out and away yet again. Now fallback, trouble. They might have another arrow, triple remnant forward. The field ulti is going, but that root is not going to stop this ulti. Can they actually find a kill?
Middle tower
Can't do
needs
it.
some help.
Yeah, not really.
Dire's bottom
Fighting
tower
that
needs
in
some
that-
help.
And once the smoke connected like that, there's pretty much nothing else you can do. Medusa continues to do what she can to build herself up, but she is going to be going for Manta style next. So, going to be able to, if she needs to, break Flint's dodge, but more likely just break out of the amp damage with the Searing Chains and push her. That said, Guardian Grace will come up pretty soon for the Underworld, and there, of course, we're looking more damage and initiative.
One of the problems that we have seen Medusa sometimes have is a lack of mobility, as an arrow almost sits there. And particularly in this match where you have heroes like the Underlord, you have heroes like the Ember Spirit, even in a lot of ways Mirana with the Blink Dagger and Leap. Is that something that you need to be concerned about, your lack of ability to control heroes and keep them high?
I think you just need to recognize that as a weakness and play around. What do you do to let them come to you? You say, okay, well, you want to get some kills and turn that into towers, because there's no way they take towers without kills. Then you just kind of play around it as this kind of fortress where the Axe can control their positioning, the AC can control their positioning, and you just let them come and see what happens.
Top lane, Slardar, currently level 10. Run into the Axe here.
I'm not liking this Midas pick up from Jules. I think that while it is a clearly indicating that they believe this game is going to go later than they wanted it to, it's also kind of a sign that things are not going to be good for him and for the team as a whole. Like, if he goes for like a BKB and just starts pushing in and getting aggressive, I can get behind that. But him kind of waving a flag of, okay, let's play this one out, he's actually favors the range of it. And then it really comes only down to mobility at that point. You see, Lana making a nice get away there, but yeah. I think that the argument like game that mobility might become more of a factor where Mineski can play multiple lanes. And in fact, they're playing down bottom here. The Dark Rift gets canceled by a single creep kill. They wasted both the Moonlight and the Dark Rift with 2 heroes stranded up top. What are they doing? But they're still involved.
They're keeping it though. They want to take and fight this fight.
But
and
there's a
actually
cooldown.
still on top of them. That's going to be a dead CM in just a second. Amel as well. He actually didn't have his mana shield up for that fight. So it was naturally a very tanky hero. Ends up dropping a huge win right there and a great static storm by Ninja Boogie.
Absolutely insane. They couldn't get the toggle off as they needed to.
Radiant's
and
top
just,
tower
able
has
to
looked
bring down
twice
targets
as much.
very quickly in that situation. I was afraid that without the Mirana there, with her keeping on cooldown, that would have been maybe a lost engagement where we could see some really good usage of the Echo Stomp and the Stone Gaze. But the Axe was out of the picture. They felt confident. They hit the right spells where they needed to, and they are going to bring this to a 12-3 kill lead.
So clearly what you're saying is that she's going to need GKD now.
I'm saying that she should have Mana Shield on at all times, because that's what you do as this hero. You use mana to soak up damage. Like, what else? What else did you do?
Still Ember. Like, this is now the thing that's really scary for me. We've talked about mobility a ton in this game, and they are farming out the Radiant base. They're going to start to starve them out already. Look at the drop in net worth. It's great, granted off of a kill, but it's also trending that way in the favor of the next team because they're farming more efficiently around the map.
I think they also have some kill Roche potential just based on the fact that they have a Slardar. Most of their lineup is terrible at taking Roche, but they are able to fight around the pit with heroes like the Disruptor and the Mirana, and just the fact that they can at least take the armor down low, they have a shot at doing that without testing too correctly.
They might have caught just a second of the Ember Spirit there.
Invisibility.
Now they...
No, they need the Frostbite pass though. Are they gonna get it?
Possibly.
No, the call!
What? Okay, he just gets out and away, but now the rest of the side of Mineski is moving in here. They might actually decide to take this fight nonetheless. Hana runs into the Slardar, bumping into him, doesn't go for the call, instead the clutch, and now the blink out. but Miracle is here, ready to go onto him. They do have the mana shield on this time, and the arrow ends up being onto the creep instead of Hana.
Lord's here. He has hooked into the fight. They kind of repositioned themselves, and now they're ready to go.
All right, flips back into Hana, gets the trouble, and now looks like Let's Gamers, they just have to call it off. They're not going to be able to take this fight effectively. Yeah, there's another one of those cross fights. They are going into it. That's going to be the Stone Gaze down onto the static storm. Not really doing a whole lot, but can they control these heroes? Can they bring them down? I don't think so. DM going down as well, and they're just not doing nearly enough damage. Ninja Boogie walks out. Amel is down to almost having to, they get the time lapse off on the Weaver, but everybody from Mineski is just going to continue the charge here. They're on top of that Medusa, but they don't even really need to focus it. They're taking out all the rest of the heroes. Maybe Weaver now can try and turn this back around. Two already dead.
Now they're bailing. They're completely gone here. The Medusa goes to the top lane. The Weaver just has to slip his way out. And a big part of that fight, I would have to say, is the second arrow that connected onto the Crystal Gate. If that one made it so that couldn't go with the flank, I'd like just drop a couple spells, get in the trees, and do the freezing field like he wanted to. I mean, they had already ballooned the static storm at that point in time, so it would have been a really effective ultimate from Boomback. But Miracle just hits the perfect arrows and isolates two targets. Really, I mean, they were moving around trying to get the repositioning to buy time for everybody to get there. They only had 3 heroes to start that fight, and they kind of threw out their horses, like I said, got all 5 in play. But it was really the arrows and just these kind of continuous fishing attempts of either their arrow to isolate targets and get the freebies.
You don't have that much damage on the Weaver right now either, so like even if it took so long to find the kills, they threw out the arrows, they made the hits that they needed to. But like that fight lasted probably like 30 seconds, but I feel like the Weaver did almost nothing. The majority of the damage coming from Sakuchi even.
Yeah, they're just playing so defensively there. They're very concerned about whether or not they'll be able to compete level and to be able to get the damage out where they need to. The natural order should theoretically allow them to put out a lot of damage. It should allow them to put in some big hits here, but because of what we've seen, they really have been on the back foot of every engagement so far. They're worried about another ward detecting their smoke. That one is not going to be the case. And they're going to be trying to make their way down bottom where Jules is already pulling back.
Radiant's top tower deserves just as much help as bottom.
Causing him some issues from time to time. It looks like with this, they'll be able to secure a last tier 1 tower.
Radiant's top tower is under
Tower is now done. Oh, ball. Not yet.
Yeah, but Armel's still in a really good position here. If he just stays right here, he's going to be able to Stone Gaze at any tough spot, even if he got secret momentum. So he has plenty of options here and available, and that's what they need to do. They need to just kind of focus on a single target with Armel on the front, and if anybody messes with him, then he's got 2 bodyguards to back him up.
You mentioned earlier the Manta Diffusal build. I still really like that. Oh wait, they're going for a Dark Rift. They spot out that Armel was here farming alone. Do they have a smoke as well? Moonlight Shadow, this is the play you were talking about. Yeah. This would be such a huge kill, and he's been farming without Mana Shield on occasion.
And they see him.
Does look like they're going to be on top of him. Jump forward, damage coming out. Is it going to be enough? Triple Remnant, every damn thing, but he's still living through all of it. Oh man, that was a huge commitment. They can't kill the Medusa.
And that's why you pick a Medusa in this game. Like, no other hero in the carry role, or in this case the mid role, will be able to survive something like that. It's absolutely absurd. But just is able to soak it all up, no problem at all. They do the full rotation with 2 ultimates. Global movement, invisibility, and you just suddenly have 5 heroes on top of your carry. And who survives? The frickin' Medusa. Because that's what Medusa does, survive.
Yeah, and she's going to keep on getting bigger and bigger. If you throw all of that at this hero and you still can't kill her, I mean, when you start getting the damage up, what's the answer? How do you make this work?
You try to ignore her, I think, is what you kill all her friends. That's pretty much how it works. When Scotty is finished on Medusa, and you have the 600 mana talent, which is just about to come online, there's no killing her. The Armel is just too big, unless he's all by himself with no allies left. So you just focus the allies instead.
Going back now for the hand of Midas on the Disruptor. We talked about the one already for the Slardar. They're trying to gear up for that later game scenario. And if these heroes do start to get into that, like, you know, third, fourth big item, is that a place where maybe they're going to be able to deal with the Medusa at that point? Or do you think that the heroes from Clutch Gamers are maybe going to be able to finish the game before that even comes about?
Tough call, man. We have 5% Spill Amp on Mirana, and she is going for Ethereal Blade, Aghanim's, and Dig on 5. Miracle just wants to blast. He starts but Hannah's going in for the call, and there's the taunt on Mirana.
They can't quite control, trying to bring her down. She's already used Leap. Look at how quick Armel is there. Moving around, they're trying to dodge away so he does not get caught in that Stone Gaze. And maybe now a bit too far forward. Misses the crush.
He's just trying to get him all out of there. He's just trying to get some distance. It's not the fight they want to take. It's just going to be a full bailout. If they had Stone Gaze, they might even consider like taking something more, like Roshan's right nearby, and they're not really afraid for people to engage on Medusa. But at the same time, it's just kind of it seems like it's just gonna be a bit of a stalemate here in mid. And yeah, as long as the clock keeps ticking, I don't really feel like they're afraid of the Midas, even though there is now one on both the Disruptor and the Slardar.
Is going to be going back for Radiance as well. Still time and again. Kind of an interesting one, being able to more effectively push out the creep blades, give that mischance over to Medusa, although we do tend to see eventually an MKB and along with the rest of the build is. It was smoke there free though. Not the person you want to go on.
Yeah. Oh, we found the Medusa, boys! We've got it! It's a 5v1 like it's happened twice already! I think this will work! No, they need another target. It's so sad that you can have a carry right there. I don't think it's working.
Alright, they're going on to her. Static Storm, everything. She's got the Mana Shield on. E-Blade. Yeah, maybe. Triple Remnant. No, it's not working. Hot is on top of him. He can't do a damn thing. See him only to get his Interceptor lifted off and try and get out of there, but he just saw his Remnant trying to take down the Snake Lady, and he ends up falling. Medusa is never going to die.
I think of the scene from Monty Python when they're running at the castle walls with swords in their hands, just smacking at the wall as if it's going to do a damn thing. Medusa just is way too tanky, and they can't do it. Like, they do all this magic damage, Veil, E-Blade, whatever, and this is just like, come on guys, let's get going. Back up to all this HP and mana, and ready to keep pushing out. They just, as commit Sudoku down a bottom lane. I don't know.
You just got the 600 mana talent as well, so 1900 HP, 1900 mana, and soon to be Aegis. Although you don't give Aegis to her, do you?
I don't think so. I think the Weaver could be a good carrier for that in this situation. I mean, if you want to be mean about it, you can give it to Aegis, but I don't think so. Scotty is done. Again, that 600 mana talent. Now we're looking at 2400 mana pool. That's way too much to consider her a skill target kill.
I feel like Banta Diffusal Blade, what do you think is the reason that they decide to go for that on here? As she actually does take the Aegis.
Alright, well, mortal indeed. But no, I mean, the logic is that they have so much magical damage from the Ember. So they say, okay, well, he's got his magic damage, let's combine it together. Magic damage from Ember, magic damage from Mirana, and just nuke. And you should be able to pop off a couple heroes that way. But
they have a pipe on ET too.
If it wouldn't look so bad if they didn't keep running into Medusa. If they ran into the Weaver and were bringing those items, that would be like, oh, that's a dead Weaver. He's going nowhere, and he's screwed, and Medusa's the only one getting farmed. And we'd be seeing a lot more of what we saw in the first 20 minutes of this game. But they keep on getting unlucky about who they find. Armel that they find every time, and this item build that they've gone for is not designed to kill her.
Ember right there, not even really feeling comfortable going after the CEM. Granted, I'd be a little bit gun-shy as well at this point. It's still only a 2,000 net worth lead. Like, if they do avoid her, if they do try to sort of leave her alone, can they go for the split push game and try and maybe make some rat-task plays?
I mean, I think they still need kills. I think they need to pick off a couple of heroes. So they don't have to worry about the big initiation of the Elder Titan and the Axe. And if they can just get any picks, they can feel a lot more comfortable with that siege. But right now, for what it's worth, they have an Aegis on the Radiant side, and most importantly, it's easy for you to get outgunned and out-controlled.
They are trying to do it at least a little bit. They're cutting these tree plays. And Also the Pit Underlord that can make those moves. You got Miracle down here bottom. They're doing whatever they can to stop it, but I guess this is also playing into the hands of damage a little bit because they can just keep farming. It's become a bit of an issue. Caught for the moment, gonna go for the Dark Rift away. He'll be able to escape.
The prize is
Agadin's build up for Ninja Boogie. He went for the GPM talent and the Midas, so really wanting to emphasize getting this Agadin's at an okay timing, but really it's going to be the frustrator for this Weaver who just got his BKB. If they can get that on Obbing, if they can get the combos out against him, they still have a lot of kill potential to squish Weaver, but up front, it's Armel, and you know what he's doing. It's being a nuisance.
Radiant's top tower has looked bad.
They're actually killing it as quickly as
courier has been killed.
SPR at bottom lane, so
Dire's middle
they actually walk high ground here, and it's gonna, like, he looks at Mirana, he's like, okay, well, I'll start sieging, but it's really not gonna do much damage at all, and they have to kind of make a call. Back, Sauter get caught out.
Yeah, they're going to be able to find that kill. The CM ult's even going to be committed, or maybe not actually going to be able to get that kill. Shadow Blade away.
Radiant's top tower
in front, it's in center. It's going to be Armel that stands between Mineski and an opportunity, and you see that. Like, normally in this situation, you wouldn't be able to send 2 heroes back to deal with a Slardar and still keep hitting their tier 3 towers. You'd be like, okay, well now it's a 4v3, maybe 5v3 if the Slardar gets out far. And that would be scary for anybody but this Medusa, who really, at this point, couldn't care what she's up against.
Still, the thing to me that's most impressive about this for Clutch Gamers is that throughout these qualifiers, they've played with the Darkseers, they've played with the Sand King, they've played with these heroes that are built around taking team fights and winning consistently. This is a different sort of game for them, yet showing they have that range. Man, granted, if you have a Medusa as the last pick, sometimes it's just going to end up working, and it's not super hard. But I think that this is also showing a little bit of breadth of possibilities to play.
Cast canceled the Berserker Call while the self-fuels come through, and in the end, but yeah, it is definitely a very different playstyle from what we saw previously, and yeah, I think that it is going to be tricky their ability to kind of stretch the game out, and that's the counter initiation. I feel at this point, like, obviously it's just a strength of drafting to have any versatility for your cores, but you know, when you're looking at one of the 3 best last picks for a draft, I think you're pretty confident. So Boombex is kind of in a weird spot here, dropping down to about half HP, but I don't feel like Mineski are confident in this part of the map at all.
Moving in over here, and Ember on top of him. It's the Remnant away. Slardar is also in the jungle. They're doing a good job of keeping these lanes pressured in and always have Clutch Gamers on the back foot. So this is something that's eventually going to need to be solved. They're not getting much out of the Aegis. I guess, though, the answer is these sort of bots. Eventually, they're going to have to win a team fight if they want to win the game.
For now, it's still kind of a farm fest for the Radiant side. They've got the Mjolnir coming up pretty soon for Armel. Weaver looking at the season play next, and I think Jace is trying to be as pesky as possible. He knows they don't really have a good way of controlling him consistently, so as long as he doesn't get caught by a Berserker Call like 3 heroes. We're actually going to see the root. He's going to go ahead and break through, and has the Yules, has the Remnant. Well, Remnant though.
Get out of there. Yule Scepter to lift him up again, but
so he's just kind of playing a little bit of cat and mouse with them. He knows that there's really minimal risk of him getting caught out. In the meantime, he has bought time for the Midas to take its soul, for Disruptor to have an Aghanim Scepter. I really feel like the game plan is now try to get Aiden and Weaver and maybe another inside of Fusion Field, Kinetic Field, or sorry, the Kinetic Static, and from there you'll just try to end the game. But yeah, the Medusa is going to try to thwart that at every step.
Radiant's middle tower could use some help.
Right now, Boomback's actually very deep, dropping the ward where you wouldn't expect it and trying to create an opportunity.
All right, well, here we go. Moving in towards this bottom lane, and it's going to be a tier 2 tower under siege. They're still pressuring out to the best of the abilities. Mineski.
A lot of TPs on cooldown. I actually don't think they defend this tier 2 at all.
And they can even think
Dire's
about going further if they
fallen.
wanted. They do have the Mjolnir there, done on Medusa
Radiant's
now.
middle tower
Level
could use some
25
help.
also.
19 seconds to get back, and they're already hitting the tier 3 tower. What Miracle do in this situation? Yeah, he get poke prodded a tier 2 tower, but that's not nearly as important as what's happening on the Dire side.
they're already hitting it. They don't have any way to stop this really. I also have the push now onto 2 of them. Elk Shield is still very much alive. They don't have Aegis anymore, which might be something slightly. But hitting from the low ground, they end up catching onto a couple.
Oh, that's a waste of Static Storm.
They're not doing anything with it. They're literally going to get nothing with it.
That might just be the walk-in hit now. Like, if you don't have Static Storm, what can you do to teams like this? If you tried so hard, hit a Malice, Static Storm, and now you have nothing.
They're going to be able to call them back out. There's going to be the Earth Splitter. Drop down. They get the dunk to boot. 7 to 15, but most importantly, you've got these heroes hitting the tier 3 towers. They don't have an answer. This is not the hero that you want to focus. Arrow off the mark as well, ended up running into a Armel, still so tanky in the midst of this fight. Stonegaze still being held onto as well. Hasn't even popped the Dueler charge onto her as of yet. There's a crush. Maybe, possibly. There's just a Hana jump forward. This is the call. Okay. Static Storm still 34 seconds away.
Not sure if they actually pursue this any further. They missed enough calls and they don't really have too many more opportunities. But I do have a lot of HP coming in from Medusa. I'm really curious too much what damage they take.
Yeah, Urn charges keep on going out there. That arrow, Manta dodged as well. Very nice display there by Armel. The trouble, the call a little bit off the mark. He ended up lifting up with the Yule Scepter. They throw another side of hit. Rooted, stuck there in place, is going to drop. The Ember going down. They might be able to force the buyback off the back of this one. Slowed again by the Scotty, but the creep wave is not there. Backdoor protection is still going.
Low on mana. Armel is actually very vulnerable here. This could be a big kill.
Oh, crush on a 3. They need to follow up, Remnant forward. They end up being able to take down 1. Pull back to death. The Static Storm. It's come back up, but can they find these kills? So close, so low. They take her down finally. My goodness gracious me, oh my. Clutch Gamers end up losing 5. That was the fight.
That was exactly what they were looking for. It took way too long for them to siege that position. I think that Pit Lord in particular is really good at holding that high ground for an extremely long time. They had enough time for Static Storm to come all the way back up. And in that time, Clutch Gamers had multiple opportunities for Hannah to jump in and hit a call, try to get a pick off. It was actually just the base that took a pick off on the Ember. So, like, it just feels like they missed a couple of too many initiations, and they should have backed off from there. They kept it going, and in the end, they are chased down. Medusa shows that she is not immortal, and that she does have limitations. She took way too much damage. Oh, it took a long time. It took like a minute for them to wear her down, but eventually she was so low on her mana that they ended up getting a very clean 5-man sweep.
That was, there are 2 Static Storms in that fight.
Yeah.
Like, it's a 70-second cooldown. They ended up getting it. It's the perfect time as well.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of wondering what this Mirana goes back into, and it looks like Edge is going to be the pick.
Okay. So, I mean, I can't imagine that being like a rapier, so I mean, we're kind of looking at evasion components on anybody here, and I'm not seeing anything. I mean, there is a talent for evasion, but it wasn't selected by the Medusa.
Yeah.
So, hard to say, but right now it is going to be just the Demon Edge picked up. The E-Blade bench. No way, okay, so he's going to, backpack the TPs to get his mana and HP back up and try to get back out on the map. But yeah, I assume MKB is going to pick up and they'll just try to, you can do a couple things with it. You can break channel effects like the Echo Stomp or the Freezing Field with a couple of auto attacks. Or obviously you don't have to worry about any sources of evasion when it might be picked up. The butterfly is actually queued up now.
Maybe if you do end up seeing the MKB or the Demon Edge already in hand, that Armel ends up going something else instead. Like, I don't know. It feels to me, what else did you even go though? Like,
you just want damage. Divine Rapier is definitely a viable option for Medusa at this stage in the game. He was lacking damage quite a bit. I still think Dragonlance isn't too bad. It's just you're very full on item slots. So unless you feel like the Pike creates a lot of value and you decide to maybe drop the Lincoln, then I kind of feel like you just continue to go either for this Butterfly option or the Divine Rapier, or I've seen Daedalus to work in some situations, but I just think that overall Daedalus is a lot worse than Divine Rapier. The only thing is that you get to keep your shot.
Right. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty good, although hopefully the idea is that you don't end up dying. This smoke was not scouted out, so Mineski might not be aware that it's happening. There is a Roshan potential. This is a long wraparound as well. One of these heroes here. It looks like the Mineski realizes what's happening though. They're Disruptor? Trying to break it. They spot out one, a good bit of malice to start. They pop the BKB, Weaver turning on to the Disruptor. They are by the Shrine, but yeah, it's a little bit too scary, and they might end up losing the Thunderlord. No, he should be fine.
And they did get the minus respawn time talent on Disruptor, so he will be back up for any kind of high ground event, but that's not the objective that Clutch Gamers are going to be going for. Aegis, no cheese yet. It's just the most unassailable thing in the world, but yes indeed, we do have Aegis on the field. Nowhere near Divine Rapier gold. I love to see it where you purchase Divine Rapier right when you get Aegis, and you kind of have like a slightly safer YOLO play. But nevertheless, we just have the Aegis with some decent raw damage, and see if they find themselves back to CG.
Good crush, fly solo, gone on at the start, and Weaver also maybe in some trouble. It does look like Jules is in trouble as well. They're able to get the time lapse off of the Weaver, so still left alive. The moment they have the Frostbite, can they get this kill? Arrow now down onto Medusa. The rest of the heroes are here. Static Storm onto Armel. If they can bring him down right here, burns through that agency. Such a clutch move. The BKB is the pop for Hana. He's starting to fall. Mineski might just be doing it. Oh, the E-Blade to keep him alive. The THP blinks out as well. Miracle does it again. And they're able to escape with the Mirana's life.
Very impressive shot calling from Mineski there. Able to just kill off the more vulnerable targets. This Elder Titan was actually an easy pick for them with that crush. And from there, they are able to break down multiple heroes and the Aegis without anything but the Slaughter going down.
Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower.
It's kind of nuts though that the Midases are starting to pay off at this point. You've got the heart there on the Slardar, so it took him so much longer to go down. We already had the Aghanim Scepter, but now going back for the refresher for the Disruptor, still a long ways away from it. But you start thinking about that item getting done and maybe eventually into a Sheepstick or something. They haven't really been able to assault the Vrax again. And I don't know, I'm kind of wondering at this point, how do you do that if you're the Radiant?
You have to get the waves pushed out at all costs, and this means that you're going to have to continuously put pressure and just put some time into the lane. They've been putting so much time elsewhere, and it hasn't been quick. There's no flash power, not enough damage with Medusa. And as you mentioned before, she's a lot of limiting factors there. Beyond that, yeah, I do think the Midases are a good play. I'm actually excited to see the Slardar hit level 75. I haven't actually seen in competitive play the 10% bash chance in play, but I think that could be actually quite potent if he could get some True Strike on top of that. I mean, you look at 35% chance of bash. If you get a decent attack speed, and you might just be able to completely lock down a hero like Medusa or Weaver.
Yeah, we did end up seeing the level 25 for Medusa, went for the light steal of 25%, which is really the value pickup, not having to go back to light steal herself. Also, 2 seconds for the Ember Spirit, no surprise there. For the Mirana, we're already into the leap attack speed, makes a lot of sense as well. And I think with the Butterfly pickup, I mean, granted it makes her Manta style illusion stronger, but we have the potential to have the MKB coming out. If he sold the...
He went for Daedalus, so he is going to be selling the... He must have just seen it, did he?
Okay. He has Demon Edge.
Yeah, he just saw the Butterfly. Then Slaughter in Viz scouted out the Butterfly, and he just in time sold the Daedalus to get the value back and get this MKB online.
Oh my god.
That was fabulous. But yeah, so now he has the MKB up for the Mirana. The key thing here is the mentality of Miracle. He transitioned from a build where he's like, let's just try to win the game as soon as possible, let's just nuke him down, where he was looking at like the Aghanims, Ethereal into Dagon 5. He scraps that idea, goes for Mjolnir MKB, and this...
Oh my god, they're scouting it out! The crunch! On to forward! Triple remnant forward! Can they find them though? BKBs have already been popped, and now Arma trying to turn, trying to get out of there. Arrow though, it is going to connect, and now they can leap in. Attack speed if they want to do it. Armel starting to fall so low! They got Armel, they end up beating them over the trees. I do believe Armel, is he going to end up going down? They have to leap out and away. The Medusa stands tall at the end. I cannot believe that they were able to keep her alive.
Absolutely insane. No, Mystic Snake is just such a great ability in these situations. You get all this mana back like nearly instantly, and then she's got the lifesteal component on top of that. Like, she just sustains so hard, and just hooks up through everything. They put so much time into trying to kill off the Slardar, and as you mentioned, that heart is making it very difficult.
Holy hell.
If Clutch Gamers could just get a little bit more damage, those opportunities would turn on their head so much more. But as we see Armel pushing forward, the tanky beast that he is, and they're just going to try to in their mindset, force Ember's buyback, which actually means they're just going to be pushing down on the tier 3 towers.
Was that really just all from the Mystic Snake and the right clicks?
I believe so. There was
so
not a cheese in play.
What the hell?
Hey.
It looks like the freaking cheese is all gone. Arrow is going to be off the mark now, but Amel, he's just going to hit the towers. They got the caught now on the Boogie as well. He's going to drop. Mineski do not have an answer at the end of the day for this Medusa, and they have to pop the glyph. They don't have Disruptor ulti from this. They jump forward. They get the call now. On to Jules. There's a lot of damage going down on these heroes. Medusa, too much in the end. And I think that this might just be it. They have buyback on 2 different heroes, but I don't think that there's any way they can find this kill.
I mean, it's not over yet. We are just entering the mid lane drop down. There's a lot to play in this game, but for a long respawn time on the Slardar, they're going to have to fight 4 versus 5 into a full-fledged Medusa ready to rumble. Might not even get the chance. I don't know if he just walk away right now. Trying to get some Desert Tier steered will Manta, and that might just be the back away. So 2 lanes of Rax gone. You're definitely not going to say in this position. Mineski are gonna try to fight this one out as long as they can, but at this current point in time, it does look like Clutch Gamers are in the winning position.
So nuts, but Medusa just got ridiculously farmed.
I mean, look at their net worth, man.
Yeah, this is already a hero that thrives in the late game, but getting these late game talents to make it even stronger. 600 mana in particular, so hard to bring her down. There we go. Going to be able to take down the shrines.
And actually stalking up Jay. If they find this kill, the game is over. But the Blake away just when the call could have come. He shouldn't have just popped it a little bit sooner. He shouldn't have waited as long as he did. But at the same time, it's a very tense moment for him. And they're on the verge of victory. You can almost taste it.
Such gamers. Doing it. This is again. In my eyes, they've turned into the second best team in the C region from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and I mean, with so many names that aren't appreciated, ones that aren't really well known to the Western fan base, it's so great to see them just have this resurgence, have this showcase what they can do. And I'm really excited to see what they can do if they can advance further into the playoffs, perhaps into the major itself. But honestly, I am.
Forward. On-screen core has been completed for the Ember Spirit, and it's an item that can give him that extra survivability that he might need. So 25s are up though, and Sakuchi movement speed is there for the Weaver as well. Individually hard to deal with, but when you pair it together with Medusa as well.
Movement speed is not a problem here. 319 movement speed on this Medusa without boots and inventory, but just gonna go in and see that cannot be.
All there on the Ninja Boogie. If they can burst him before the ulti, it's going to happen. He's gone for 45 seconds now, and the chain's going to connect onto 2 Jules looking for an opening. Can they bring down these heroes before Medusa can take down their... It does look like they're able to take down 2, maybe a 3rd, but they have not answered Armel in the base, and also the Weaver here. Look at the damage. He's getting so much life skip from this as well. Full mana pool. They can't do anything. They literally can do nothing. And looks like with that, they are going to be able to most likely take at least Mega Creep and pop the PvP. Oh, Miracle making a kill onto them, but well, if it wasn't 4v5 before, it's starting to look quite rough now as well. Armel taking a good bit of damage, possibly they actually end up being able to find the kill.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he will never do that unless he had buybacks. Mineski knows this. But yeah, as far as buybacks that were forced out there, we have Ember Spirits recently used, and then Mirana and Underlord still having theirs done. But he suicided without actually getting the range racks. It's the Omegas, and there's a big difference between the two. So they're going to try to see what they can do. They're going to get a Medusa buyback, I'm pretty positive. I don't think there's anything that Clutch Gamers holds without at least the Medusa buying back, and probably 1 or 2 others. But at least for right now, they have to get the waves pushed out, they have to get in a
they're going Roche.
They're looking at Roche instead. Cheese is definitely valuable, that's for sure.
Meaty Rune there on Mirana as well. So likely Mirana going to eat the cheese, and then we head down towards this lane. The Meaty Rune will probably wear off before they get there.
Yeah, that's not going to be coming into play here, unfortunately for them. But at the same time, and they force a buyback.
They're not doing it.
No, I feel like you have to go crazy aggressive here. How are you going to be able to win this game forcing some buybacks. It just doesn't seem plausible.
Yeah, quite difficult indeed. It looks like, is this going to be a Satanic queued up for Murano?
Yeah, but I'm
Selling the
more worried about the current state of the game. Like,
yeah.
the Medusa just essentially handed them a free kill on her in order to get the melee racks and put some damage into everybody else. They didn't punish it. They got the Aegis and the cheese. It's really nice, but is it going to be enough for them to win the game? I don't know. Like, this game is still up in the air. We're 53 minutes in. Anything can happen if the right position is taken. But right now, with 3 buybacks on cooldown, and it looks like the rest unavailable. No, just disruptors available.
I mean, Medusa's going to be able to have buyback and do the exact same thing she did before.
Yeah.
But this time against the range barracks.
Yeah, and I expect she'll get BOTs along the way as well. She could throw a second life at it if she wants. Or, I mean, I guess you wouldn't ever throw the second life at a barrack, because really, honestly, Mega Creeps don't matter that much.
Yeah.
In context of, you know, you've got Radiance on one guy, you've got Mjolnir on another, like, Mega Creeps can be dealt with.
Okay, one thing to keep in mind here, we do still have Dark Rift plays. Late game Dark Rift is quite good. If they did end up going for something like that, pushing in the bottom lane, taking down a tier 3 tower and then base race, do you think they win with that attack speed?
Right, well, we'll see. Ember Spirit is not in position just yet, only has BOTs level 1, but they're already on the move, and it's already Clutch Gamers bailing out.
Yeah, good decision making there. But do you think that there is a chance for some Dark Rift, like base race
plays?
Absolutely.
If they can get the creeps in the right position for it, I mean, they absolutely can catch off guard, but in terms of base racing, I would have to back away from that a little bit, because honestly, they don't do that much building damage. Neither side does. It's not like you could surprise somebody like, you know, like a Lone Druid or a Tiny and just chunk down buildings within the next like 6 or 7 seconds.
Yeah.
It really comes down to a slow, methodical amount of damage, but they can surprise in terms of positioning. They could probably get a pickoff with it, and that could be as good as breaking down a barrack at this stage, even better.
Oh, hard to deal with. Is this a hero, Medusa, who is going to start? We talk a lot about like Meepo getting full 6 slotted and then kind of falling off a little bit. Is that something to at all be concerned about from Medusa, where you don't really have any more room to grow and become stronger? Or
I don't think that's no. Okay. Well, let's see here as the fight fights out.
Static Storm down. All right, that's going to be one dead. The Weaver is already gone. He does have buyback. Armel is in the midst of all of this, trying to pop the BKB and chase down and kill off the Slardar, but they're kind of maneuverable and able to walk away for the moment. Hana's been able to find the initiation though, and Slardar's still running away. Everybody from Mineski is still alive, and the Satanic really coming into play now as well, trying to run down and kill off all the rest of these Radiant heroes. They kill off that EP, they're going to be able to take down Hana. Now Medusa also maybe in some trouble, popping the Mantis now, but got caught by the Pit of Malice for a moment. Ember Spirit continuing to chase, not able to kill off Rollback though on that Crystal Maiden. The glimpse back in, Armel is starting to drop the damage. It's quite significant, but they're able to get her out of there. And just like that, he bought an Aghanim Scepter, Weaver bought an Ags, and that was a time lapse to get Medusa back to life. All right, that was a play and a half. He got back into the game, bought an Ags, and now Miracle ends up falling because of it. What?
Absolutely insane. Now the Ember Spirit is in dieback mode, and we are going to be seeing just a full offensive here. Don't even really look at the range racks. Just look at the throne. Look at ending this game here and now. And it's going to be Mineski in a desperate position to hold. But they are picking out the range racks. As far as the creep wave, it is pushed in enough to break the backdoor protection. And they're going to go in for the full offensive.
All right.
They can't focus Medusa, but yeah, they have to focus everybody else.
All right, Static Storm now down on the 2, but they managed to get a phase thing, drop it below. They can kill him off. That's one of the ways forward. Hana's on top of it too, but he's going to start to fall. Armo wants to hit this. He talks about Mega Creeps is not everything in this match. No, can they find the kill?
They'll get the Mega Creep, and then we'll see Armel most likely drop down. He doesn't have an escape plan. He's just trying to do damage he can. Maybe get a top in.
He's falling. He's going to end up dropping here, and Jewel is still left alive. He is going to live through this as well. Alive on 40 HP, so now you have no buyback on 3 of these heroes. I don't know. Blaze, can they do it? And did Weaver have that Aghanims before, or did he buy it?
So there was that scenario down in bottom lane where you thought there might be a cheese coming to play with a quick HP and mana reset. It actually very well might have been the Aghanims. There's been so much going on in this game. It's so fast-paced. and it's been a blur to an extent. But it very well might have been an Aghanim's play down bottom before. Probably gotten the mega creep. They only have 2 heroes to defend their high ground. We'll have to see. The biggest thing here is Mineski are still really bad at breaking buildings. They have the leap attack speed. That's really going to be expediting the process here as they try to break it down, getting the creeps in play, but now Medusa's home turf.
Oh, question mark indeed, Ninja Boogie. You call him out on that. All right, let's see if they can make this happen, though. Time to take down tier 3 tower, and the question is, are they going to just be able to ignore the Medusa like they've been doing all game long? That's the tier 3 down. Mineski, I don't know. Ember's going to be in the fray as well. They're keeping the mega creeps out of their base. They're hitting the tier 4s.
Well, they can't dive like this, though. She put it on the
Go
fountain.
hit the tower.
There's no way they can get her in the fountain. This is not the time to fountain dive. Mineski, go for the throne.
They're making it happen, and they are all over him. 10 seconds away for the axe. Can they kill it off in time? They got the sleep on the Miracle. They don't have much damage outside of him. Now trying to find a kill. The Stone Gauge. Nobody is hitting the Ancient. They can't focus it down as of yet. Armel trying to stand tall. Can they do it? He ends up eating the cheat. This time for sure they made it happen, and it does look like Clutch Gamers are going to come through in the clutch and possibly bring them all down. RR, he ends up getting the Slardar out of there, and they cannot take down the throne. 2 minutes with no Mirana. Holy shit, I think Clutch Gamers did it.
Absolutely insane here. Such a close call in both scenarios. Actually, a very risky maneuver from Clutch, taking that rack at the cost of the entire team. But Mineski's lineup was never good at breaking buildings fast enough. A lot of team lineups at 58 minutes would have just chugged down those tier 4s and that throne, no problem at all. But Mineski's lineup struggled with it. They didn't have enough time, and now it's about to be GG the other way.
My goodness gracious, they freaking did it!
What a
I mean, they were ahead for so long, but they made that really close at the end.
It's just, you gotta feel they tried their hearts out of this one, but it just felt like that last thing that didn't